The Zohar Kadosh says that before the MaShiach comes, the last generation before MaShiach comes, it will have several major Tikkunim. Predominantly for the men, it will be Tikkun Limud Torah and Tikkun HaBrit. Meaning, men that are not studying enough Torah, and also not protecting their Brit. And my Rav has taught me once years ago that when you teach different subjects, whether it be Shabbat, or Tzedakah, or Shlom Bayit, or many other things, you're going to have here and there different people that support you, and different people that go against. Oh, you're too extreme. Well, I'm just saying what the halakha says. Yeah, but maybe you should say it differently. Well, I'm speaking English. But nonetheless, you're never going to make everybody happy. But there's one specific subject that gets people crazy. Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, and it says, Zeh keneged zeh bara Elokim. HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in essence, created everything with something that's the opposite, or an equal, if you will, but on the opposite end. And just like He created Himself a kisei kavod, a throne of glory, He created the Satan, the Malach HaMavet, the Yetzer Hara, all being the same thing, the Gemara Masechet Brachot says, created him a throne of glory. Now this Satan, he has a lot of minions that do his work, because he's a king. And every time somebody, as the Mishnah in Avot says, every time somebody does a mitzvah, he creates a angel that helps him do even more mitzvot, do more good. But every time somebody makes a sin, he creates demons that are in essence weakening him and making him want to do more avirot. Now these minions that a person creates, these demons that he's creating, unfortunately are not only hurting him, but are hurting society at large. So what happens when a person starts doing TeShuva? Part of doing TeShuva is to stop the sins that we've made, and in essence destroy all of these demons that we created, all the bad spirits that we created, all of the tum'ah that we created. In essence, you're taking away the Satan's employees. But if you, let's say for example, you didn't give tzedakah in the past, but now you're going to give tzedakah. So Baruch Hashem, every time you give tzedakah, you're destroying some. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is. Unlike this disgusting human being that I had an email exchange with, that after he saw our campaign email, he told us one of these, and he called him a horrible name, one of these people, go find jobs. What, it's our fault to decide to have 15 kids and we have to pay for it? Like, who asked you to do anything? You don't want to donate, don't donate. Why do you have to make a big deal out of it? And then he started to become even more vulgar, and it's hard for me to believe he's really Jewish, to be honest with you. I'm kind of contemplating whether to publicize his name so people stay away from such a filthy human being. But needless to say, people sometimes are so tied to their money, it's in essence like a god to them. So sometimes their tikkun is to give tzedakah, is to give. And even the Rambam himself says that if you're very stingy, you can't give what you really have. You have thousands and thousands of dollars to give. You can't give it. You just can't handle it. Give $1 a day. $1. It's not, the dollar is not really going to help anybody other than you. But at least it's going to get you to the point where if you're giving it every day, it's going to get you to the point where you're going to start enjoying giving. You start getting your system into giving. So that's your tshuva. But even if you do that tshuva, it's good. You're destroying a certain amount of demons. For that guy, it's probably a mountain of them. But for other regular people, normal people, it's doing okay. But when it comes to the ultimate tikkun, when it comes to the Tikkun HaBrit, see, every time a guy wastes seed, or a girl walks around immodest, they're in essence creating millions and millions of these kochot atumah, millions of these demons that are in essence encompassing their life, making a shell around their neshama, making it almost impossible for them to learn or understand Torah, making it almost impossible for them to enjoy mitzvot, making it almost impossible for them to feel Hashem. They say they believe in Hashem, but they don't know Hashem. making it impossible for them to truly get to where they're supposed to be because of this horrible sin that they're making. And unfortunately, we live in a generation that's already second or third generation of ignorance about this specific mitzvah of Kedusha, of Tikkun HaBrit. Now, the previous generation, they started teaching this stuff at 6 years old. 6 years old, they started teaching kids about this. In this generation, I've met Kolel, Avrechim, in their 30s and 40s. I've never heard about this once in their life. All types of people from all walks of life, never heard such a thing. Recently met a guy that's been religious from his entire life, and he got a CD, so he asked some questions. And he said, yeah, but this is really not, I don't know, should I keep the CD or give it to somebody else? I said, well, you should learn it. He said, well, it's not really relevant to me. I said, why is it not relevant to you? You protect your brit? He goes, well, I'm married. I said, well, it doesn't mean anything if you're married. You protect your brit. He goes, well, can't I just do whatever I want with my wife? I said, not exactly. Not according to the Torah. I mean, if you have a different Torah for your different religion, no, he goes, I'm Jewish. What are you talking about? He goes, well, what do you mean? I just, I have to like. I said, wait, are you telling me that when you're with your wife, it's not always, the seed doesn't go exactly where the only destination that it's permissible to? He goes, no, why would it? I don't want to have so many kids. I said, okay, so you're wasting seed. The guy's face just became so confused and so horrified that he didn't know what hole to bury himself in. What hole to bury himself in. Because he realized, now he's been married, I don't know, I think 10, 15 years. He realized that the sins of his teenagehood haven't stopped. And the CD is very much for him. So we live in such a generation where if somebody starts doing TeShuva for such a thing, Rabotai, that means that you are destroying millions of these demons. Now what does that mean? That means, Rabotai, as my Rav explained to me when we learned one time about some mystical teachings, he says that when somebody deals with Tikkun HaBrit, they in essence declare war on the Satan himself. They're not declaring war against sin per se. They're not just trying to do TeShuva per se. No. You're declaring war against the king of all the evil that's permissible in this world. And for that, the Satan himself gets up out of the throne of glory that he has, that Hashem created for him, and fights you head on. Which means you're going to have a lot of enemies. You're going to have a lot of problems. You're going to have a lot of strange things happen to you. And strange things, Baruch Hashem, have been happening for years now, but since we did this recent publication of this CD, Baruch Hashem, the ante went up. When we were giving shiurim and reaching hundreds of thousands of people over the internet about Tikkun HaBrit, there was a certain amount of war that, Baruch Hashem, was not enjoyable. But since we printed the CD finally after 2 years of working on it, and then finally started distributing it, we distributed almost 80,000 CDs so far, in just a matter of the last 2 weeks. Well, Satan says, okay, now I'm getting up. Rabotai, I'm telling you, if I made a movie about each day, there wouldn't be enough time in a day to make it. So many wonderful things that Satan is telling us, it's working. It's working. Unusual stuff's happening. But nonetheless, it's working. So now, I spoke to my Rav today about this. I said, this is insanity. The things that are going on are much insanity. Just unusual behavior by people that usually act normal. Guy that's frum, a rabbi, decides that he wants to be a ganav too. He wants to be a thief also. Why? He's bored. He wants to steal from me. Nothing else to do in his life. Another one just decides, you know what? I don't know anything about you, but I'm going to tell the entire community to go against you. But you don't know anything about me. Why? I can't tell you why. Strange, unusual things. This is all good. So I asked my Rabbi, he goes, listen to me. I have to tell you this. So, now you're going to tell me? Yeah, I told you this, but I'm going to tell you this a little more. It's going to get much worse. He says, I told you. You declared war against the Satan with this Tikkun HaBrit stuff. This is it. This is the yesod. This is the foundation. It's going to get much worse. So I can't tell you that you have to continue. Can't tell you have to continue. I can't tell you just make a life sacrifice here. Says, what do you want me to just leave it alone, do nothing, and just everybody goes to Gehenom? He goes, exactly, that's what that's the point. But I can't tell you to do it. You can do it if you want. So I don't know any other way. What am I going to just do nothing and just everybody goes to Gehenom? So the Satan wakes up on specific issues. This is a big thing. And when it comes to the CD, Rabotai Kareem, we need to distribute it in as many places as possible. We need to teach the real Torah to as many people as possible. And Bezrat Hashem, we will succeed. Anyone that wants to distribute these CDs on the, in their community and in the United States, please go on our website. You can buy some. If you can't afford it, we will we'll help you. We'll send you some for free. Maybe if you can pay for half of it. The point is, do whatever you can, but do something. Do whatever you can and do something. Everybody can do something. If it's not money, then it's time. But it's time that people understood the magnitude of this sin. We are meant to be a light unto the nations, not to follow their misguided practices. Remember, every Jew has to remember that he's a Jew and she's a Jew. We don't celebrate non-Jewish holidays, even if they seem harmless. It's a zilzul, disrespect to the Torah, and could lead to Chilul Hashem, desecration of God's name. Stick to our holy Torah and our own holidays. That's the path of a true Jew.